Okay, record.
Are we recording? Okay, cool. Well, I am excited to share with you guys our startup, and I did not come up with this on my own. I'm always just such a student for what's working for other people, and I feel like that's part of my, the secret to my success is that I'm always very open to watching other leaders who I admire and incorporating what's working for them. And so this process was actually Jen Stifler, who is an NMD under Jen Saville. I'm sure you guys all know who she is. She's amazing. I don't really know her personally, but I've talked back and forth with her about her startup process. And she had put this through like a Voxer chat probably like 2 years ago. And I sat on it for a long time until it was very clear that we needed to really just get a system in place, because of course systems are what move, are what run your business and make your business efficient, right? So I think one of the things that really prompted our team to kind of work with the system is just all of the upheaval of losing mission driven, incorporating the freedom revolution, not having the tools, in my opinion, that we needed for a successful startup within the freedom revolution. But then just also the confusion of all of these websites, like we've got our virtual office, and we've got the freedom revolution, and we've got campbellteam.net, and we've got jpvf.org and all this stuff. And it's great to have so many resources, but it makes people's brains go like this when they're starting up. And so I wanted to just kind of figure out a way to keep it as simple as possible for my team. And I really was diving into the bank code. Have you guys spent any time learning the bank code? So the bank code is based on a book by Sherry Tree called Why They Buy. And it's 4 different personalities. So there's like these 4 cards that people can look at, and basically they decide which value describes them most. And so it's knowledge, nurture, blueprint, or action. And so, well, it's blueprint, action, nurture, knowledge. That's bank. That's what that stands for. And so we really dove into that with our team, and we incorporated that sort of into our startup process so that people, regardless of what bank code you are, it would be, you could work within your strength as far as your bank code is concerned to make the startup process work. So knowledge people are just and blueprint people, knowledge people by virtue of their knowledge code, they want all the information. So, we speak that language to them so that they know that they can gather information if that's what they want to do. But then action people, they don't want to even mess with that stuff. They just want to go straight into just tell me what to do. What's the quickest way I can just kind of get in? I don't want any of that extra stuff. Kind of like, give me the summary, give me the cliff notes. Blueprint people are really into the systems, and they want to know like step by step. And then nurture people are really into just the relationships and the people part of it. So we're trying to speak to all of those when we're within our startup process, if that makes sense. So on mission driven, as you guys probably know, we had a startup checklist, right? And then mission driven went away, which, and we just kind of, I felt like, we tried to just go to the freedom revolution, and like people just got lost in the weeds. Like I love that we have tools there, but I felt like it was way too much information. And those videos, people, were like, oh, simple, just go and watch all the videos to get started. And they were like, nothing. And so, when I was looking at what Jen Stifler was doing, she was getting people into action. She wasn't even worrying about anything. She just was getting people into action. So I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're not even going to worry about it. Those knowledge people, those people who really want to know, and the blueprint people who really want to know the system, really want to know all of the facts and figures and all that stuff, they're going to go find it because that's their personality. So let's kind of weed that stuff out and just focus on the important stuff. So I'll just go ahead and share my screen. We use units. Do you guys use units in your do you have you guys all have team Facebook pages? I'm trying to figure out how can I see you guys and share my screen at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we all do, but I've never heard of units.
Oh, really? Okay, well, this is gonna just blow your mind, Julie. So can you see my Facebook page here?
Yep.
Okay. We just celebrated because we got back to 24 Club after like, I don't even know how, well over a year of not being in 24 Club. And I don't know if we'll hit it again this month, but you know, you gotta celebrate. You gotta celebrate the wins when they come, right? So it is what it is. So anyway, so the units, if you set your Facebook group up as social learning, they will give you that units option. So we have our customer Facebook group and also our team Facebook as set up as social learning so that we can use the unit section. And so so the unit section, you can make a unit for anything. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. So I put like, if we have a really good team call that I want people to have easy access to, I'll put it in a unit so people can just, you know, find that. And then we kind of teach new people as they kind of ask the question, not as a matter of training, but as they ask the questions, we'll kind of guide them to the materials in the units. But you can see I have an inviting to the team, objection cycle Loretta did for us when the new compensation plan was released. We put all the tools into that. And then unit 4 is the new partner startup tools. So we have everything that they pretty much need in here that they can click on and they can just get it right, super easy. And then, but what we use probably the most, well, what everybody uses the most is our checklist. So I'm just gonna minimize that and show you guys the checklist. So, and I'll give you all of this so that you have it, but I love the checklist because it just takes the guessing out of what am I supposed to do? You know, how do I start up? Anybody, whether you're brand new and you just signed up your first partner, you can still follow the sponsor checklist. And I hope it's simple enough that you can, you know, figure it out. I mean, that's the feedback that I get from my team, is that it's really easy to follow. So we have it in 3 sections: get started, get connected, get moving. So obviously the get started piece is, you know, their virtual office, their websites, their direct deposit, all of that, placing orders. That's, you know, a no-brainer that everybody needs to learn how to do. And then the get connected piece. So what I was finding with my team is that nobody knew when they were supposed to introduce people to me as their NMD. Like, and I have 2 very strong QNMDs in one line. And so like the QNMD that was direct to me, she would introduce all of her new people to me. But then the QNMD that was under the QNMD, like she kind of has like kind of a real cohesive team where they are kind of keep themselves a little bit separate. And so they never knew, like, well, are we supposed to introduce people to Carmen, or are we supposed to introduce them to April, or are we supposed to introduce them to Michelle? Like, they just didn't know when or who they were supposed to. So it was just really, really confusing. So this was just kind of to streamline it. The other piece is that, you know, it can get overwhelming when your team is adding a lot of new team and you're feeling like you're in chats with everybody. And then that's, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't keep up with this Voxer. And that's when we lose our time freedom and we lose, you know, we kind of go into management mode because we're always on Voxer and, you know, just sometimes Voxers, even if you're not even listening to them, for me anyways, it becomes that noise that makes it hard for me to focus on my frontline business and actually doing the things that I need to be doing for my business. And so I'm trying to kind of streamline that. So what we do is we actually, when they set up Voxer, we have them set up a welcome chat with me, their sponsor, sometimes their sponsor's upline, you know, person. So like say if it's a new QSC or it's a partner or a partner plus who signs somebody up, then we would have somebody in between, 1 or 2 people in between, but I'm really the only one that's talking, and me and the new person are the only, and the sponsor maybe are the only one that's talking in this chat. So they set up the Voxer chat and they and they introduce me to their new person. Hey, Carmen, I just wanted you to meet my my new partner, Mary. I'm super excited. She's getting started. This is how I know her. This is what her family looks like. This is why she said yes. Would you please put in the documents for her to get started? And then I forward in, it's just saved in my notes on my phone. And it's a long text. And it has, in that long text, it has a welcome video that I pre-recorded that has my story, but also an introduction to our team. And we really, really, really hit home the you're a blessing whether you do a little or a lot, because we want to make sure that people understand that with this business, there's no expectations, and that you get to choose how much or how little you want to do, and that we're just really here to partner with you and helping you reach whatever it is that you decide that you want to do. We also talk about the fact that, we can run with many, but we can't carry anybody. And so if this is something that you want to do, we're here to partner with you, but we're not, here to necessarily do the work for you. And we say that in a nice way. I say that in a nice way. Then I give them 3 steps to get started within that video. So the 3 steps that we get started with are their why worksheet, their story worksheet, and their memory jogger. Because I want them to start working on those 3 things right away, so that when their sponsor does their onboarding, they can get straight into the important stuff, which is the action piece of it. Okay, does that make sense? Guys, feel free to break in if you have questions. I'm just kind of rolling this off. Okay, so I'm walking them.
I actually
through.
do have.
Yeah, Julie.
Sorry, if it's okay. The whole Voxer becoming crazy, overwhelming certainly speaks to me. So what do you do after you do that part? Do you stay on their chat, or is this just like a welcome? Here's Carmen. Now I'm gone. How does that work?
It kind of depends. If it's somebody who's direct to me, who's relatively new, then I will stay in a 3-way chat with them. But if, say, it's who's under a sales coordinator, senior sales coordinator, or someone who's pretty established in the business, no, I teach my team that this is your welcome chat, but you're also going to have a coaching chat. And your coaching chat is your go-to chat where you're going to ask all your questions. And sometimes it's just going to be a 2-person chat, you and your sponsor. But knowing that you can always take questions back into the welcome chat if you need to, but that's not where the chatter happens. That's not where you're, hey, just checking in, did you invite to the event or anything? That's not happening. And we do work on stories in the welcome chat, because I feel like not all of my team is really very confident with helping with the whole, what's it called? Not making claims. What's that? Where am I? Compliance. Yes. Okay. Compliance. Like my team, I don't know, the company's got like my team all kinds of scared about saying the wrong thing about it. And so they will they'll help their team kind of start the story and use the worksheets and everything. And then they'll bring it to me so that I can listen to it with an ear for compliance and make sure that what they're saying is all good. So, I will work on their stories with them, but not with everybody, because I have a lot of strong leaders who are confident to do that. But for the most part, I really try and teach my team the difference between a welcome and a coaching chat. And I don't want to be in the coaching chats. I'll be in some of the coaching chats, like I said, if it's somebody who's direct to me and it's a newer person. But yeah, no, that was what was really, really overwhelming. And Julia Herbst, who is mine and Kirsten's sponsor, she did this because I was in a lot of the coaching chats, and she did a leader call a couple months ago and kind of told them to cut it out. You need to not put your sponsor your leader in there, because we can't handle it. And it was like, oh my gosh, the sun came out, because all of a sudden my Voxer, I would wake up in the morning, my Voxer would have, 15 messages instead of 90, you know what I mean? And it was like, I can't even tell you. I mean, you guys know, because you're all leaders and you know what I'm talking about, right? So the difference between a coaching and a welcome chat.
And I feel like personally, my people feel ignored because I'm on that chat, but it is totally unrealistic that I could keep up with it. So it's almost sending a negative impression for me too. So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was doing the same thing. I was just marking them all as red. And then I was letting my team, my leader, whoever was direct to me, saying, hey, poke me if you need me in that chat. I'm not listening to these. But that new person is probably like, why is Carmen ignoring me? You know? So I totally agree with that it's not. And then you don't want to leave the chat, because I hate the way that looks, you know, Carmen Maxwell left the chat. Like that doesn't feel good to anybody. So yeah. Okay, cool. So we have the welcome chat. And so I put in that text, and then this is where the bank code comes in. I always leave a voice message and explain it, because it's a long text in Voxer. And so I've got the welcome video at the top, and then I've got the why worksheet, the why video, the product and business worksheets, the product and business videos, and the memory jogger worksheet and the memory jogger video. And I've got links to all of that. So my message in the Voxer chat is, hey, Mary, I'm so excited that you've said yes to join our team and that you're on this mission with us. I'm so excited to meet you in person. I know I put a really long message above, and I just want you to know that it's not that much, okay? Let me just explain what it is. You're gonna start with that very top, that video that's at the very top. It's only 5 minutes. And it's going to share my story and also give you some steps to get started. And then the rest of that message above are just the steps that I'm going to give you. And it's the link so that you can have it at your fingertips and you don't have to go look for it. Okay. And just so you know, there are videos and worksheets for each of the steps. But listen, if you're one of those people who doesn't want to watch the videos and you just want to get straight to the work of, you know, the worksheet, totally fine. If you're one of those people that really likes to kind of gather information and you want to watch the videos first before you get started, also totally fine. Whichever way you want to get started is totally fine. But we just want you to know that we're here to lock arms with you and do it, you know, help you to be successful in whatever it is that you need, that you want to do with this business. So that message is usually about a minute and a half long. And then from there, I don't hear from them again until their game changer call. But before we're going to do a game changer call, their sponsor is going to do all of this stuff. Okay. So they're going to add them to our team Facebook group. They're going to add them, if they're not already, in our customer Facebook group. They're going to tell them about the monthly team calls and make sure that they put it on their calendar. Talk about Juice Plus Live. And then this is the why worksheet. This is what I just told you about. Then their sponsor is going to do their startup. Okay. And with their startup, we're focusing on activity. So what does that mean? That means we're putting an event on the calendar, and we are talking about the first 10 people that they want to start talking to first. Did you guys read that book, Get Over Your Damn Self? So Get Over Your Damn Self was written by a woman who was in like Rodan and Fields, I think, Romy News something. Anyway, she talked about the dirt list, which I don't love the way that sounds, but basically it's that list of people who would buy whatever you're selling, even if it was just dirt. And so those are the first people that we're encouraging them to reach out to. So, you know, their parents, their siblings, their best friend, those are the first people we want them to talk to. So we're having those people, write those people down first, and we're helping them to figure out how to introduce, how to have that invitation to learn more about what it is that they're doing. So we're giving them verbiage, we're giving them prompts, we're giving them, basically telling them what to say, you know, to an extent. Obviously, you know, we want that the conversations to be natural, but I find that it really is helpful if you actually tell the new person, okay, so when you reach out to this person, here's what you should say. So we're helping them with the first 10 or so people that they're going to reach out to personally. And we're really driving home that this is not just a message and forget it kind of thing. This is a personal reach out. This is an I care about you and I thought of you because kind of conversation. Then we're putting events on the calendar, because events build our businesses without a doubt. And those people who are not willing to do an event are probably not going to be very successful in this business. And so we're qualifying, you know, we're kind of qualifying. who we're really spending time with. And so if you're not willing to put an event on the calendar, then that tells us what our next steps are. And then we're talking about that first post on social media. And we're really talking about, you know, we're looking at the examples, and we're talking about, like, listen, don't be a billboard. You don't want to say Juice Plus. Here's why. Curiosity. Let's build your own personal story into it, etc. So that's what we're really, really focusing on. And then we do ask our team to help with that first post. We call it a low-hanging fruit post because it's designed to just kind of go fishing for who might be interested. And so we try and drive traffic to it. So we will, like if they have an upline group or a local chat, we have a post on our Facebook group of like that you can comment in. That's a low-hanging fruit post, and you can say, hey guys, can you go and comment on this post, so that we can drive traffic to it, because the more that people comment on it, the more it stays at the top of the Facebook feed. Does that make sense? So we find that really asking people, the greater team, to help with that is a good way to kind of get people to be kind of paying attention to that. And then we talk to them about how to, you know, take any requests for more information to a private message, because we know that people are really tempted just to be like, it's Juice Plus. And then that totally eliminates all of the rest of the conversation that comes in, because you just gave all the information away, and now nobody needs to ask you what it is. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, cool.
Your low-lying fruit post, what is that? Is that just, you know, with their hand, with the Juice Plus, is that the basic one?
Yeah, something like that. Something, and it's they get to choose what is authentic to them as far as, you know, what they want to post. But yeah, it's some type of curiosity post, the capsules in their hand or whatever. And they, and then we, yes. So it's low hanging fruit because it's kind of it's not generic, because we're really encouraging them to put themselves into that post, but the picture doesn't have to be anything that's like super complicated.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, if everybody, or if they do that whole checklist and they put an event on the calendar and they do their first social media post, at that point, their sponsor will schedule a game changer call with me. So I'm not doing a call. These are 30-minute calls. I'm not doing a 30-minute call with every single person who joins our team, because I don't have time for that. And I also don't want to necessarily spend 30 minutes with somebody who's never even going to share with one single person, right? So I'm really qualifying who I'm talking to. So I have a Calendly link. You guys probably have something similar. And so they know that they just go into my Calendly and book a 30-minute call for this game changer. And then the game changer call is super simple. I just take them to the Freedom Revolution. Well, let's see. I take them for the game changer call. First thing I do is I track their points. I go to their Close to Fast Track team building bonus. I do that ahead of the call, so I already know where they are, but then I also do it with them so that they know where they are and they also know how to track their points. So we do that first, and we kind of talk about it. And then I also have their dates in front of me. So I say, okay, so your first date was, you know, you're a week in, and, you know, so this is how much time you have to express track versus, you know, do the regular 30-day Partner Plus or whatever. Sometimes they've already done their Partner Plus by the time that I talk to them. And then we go over to the Freedom Revolution, and now is the first time that they're even hearing. Sometimes, you know, depending again on their bank code, you know, sometimes they'll have done their own research, or maybe they're asked their sponsor, like, okay, so what's the first level and what do I need for that? Or, you know, sometimes they'll already have that information, but we're not talking about the compensation plan until this game changer call, because again, it's not that important. We need to know the information as a sponsor. They don't need to know, you know, we just need to say, go talk to people. And then we can say, oh my gosh, you did your Partner Plus, good for you. And they're like, what's the Partner Plus? And they don't even know, but you know, they did it. And so we can celebrate it, right? But I feel like sometimes the compensation plan weighs people down, and it gives them information that, you know, it's like, the more you know, the slower you go, right? And so that is so true. The people who on my team who are the most in the weeds with the information are like snails when it comes to moving forward. And the people who are like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, they just go and do the activity, they're like flying. And so, you know, that's really what really kind of changed things a lot for me. Anyway, so the game changer call is just, you know, I track their points, I have their dates, we go to the Freedom Revolution, I click on compensation, or not compensation plan, but getting started, and then I go through the success guide with them. So we're spending time talking about their why, which is so important, because what I find is their sponsors not digging into their why with them. Even though we're talking about it in the beginning, they're not even really revisiting it. Sometimes it's because they're just too close to that person, or it's uncomfortable, or they don't know how to do it, or whatever. But that first question on the success guide is like, basically, what is your why? What would you do with an additional $500 or $1,000 a month? So we're really talking about that. And I'm trying to get deep with them on, you know, what could this be for their family? What could they say yes to that right now they're not able to say yes to? Then we talk about their memory jogger, and I'm not even kidding, like probably 90% of the people that I talk to, they, I'll stop sharing my screen right now because I don't think I need to do that. Anyway, they like wrote down 10 people. You know, we talked about the first 10 people, that's all they wrote down, and then they never wrote anything down. But in my video, I'm asking them to write 100 people down. So the memory jogger, that piece allows me to talk about, you know, scarcity versus abundance thinking, and how, you know, it doesn't, just because you're writing 100 people down doesn't mean you have to share with 100 people. It just means that it's going to open up your mind to all of the people that you know that possibly have no idea about Juice Plus right now. And guess what? They might never know if you don't share with them. And as you're writing people's names down, you're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that person has diabetes, or that person, I know her kids have been really sick, or that kid, you know, whatever it is, that you're going to start thinking about reasons why you want to reach out to them. And it's going to be more natural to reach out to them because you're going to say, oh my gosh, I was thinking about you, and this is why. And so that memory jogger piece is really, really huge, because I think it just kind of flips a switch for them. Then we talk about all of the resource, you know, our system, and we really kind of just simplify our system as much as possible. So I say, you know, our system is so simple. We share our story, we connect people to a resource, and we follow up. Wash, rinse, repeat, over and over and over and over and over again. That's all we do. And so that, I think, is really important. We talk a lot at the beginning about the importance of three-way calls. And I really, really encourage them to do all of their follow-up at the beginning via a three-way call. So I have another sheet that I can share with you guys. I shared it on the Campbell team a couple months ago on the NMD call, but basically it's super simple verbiage. You know, so say they had their event, they're following up, hey, you know, thanks for watching the event. I would love to know what you thought about it, and get your feedback. You know, are you available to get on the phone at this time or this time? And then that person says, oh, sure, I can talk at this time. And they say, awesome. Well, I'm going to see if my friend Carmen can join us, because she's been just doing this for so much longer than I have. And I know if you have any questions, she'll be able to answer that. So they're not saying, can I get you on a connection call with Carmen? They're saying, let's you and I talk. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have her join. So we're like bringing me in the back door, right? And the beautiful thing is that this is duplicating within my team. So I'm not doing all of those three-way calls anymore. Now the sponsor is doing those three-way calls. It's so cool to look how, because we're starting everybody up with the system of bringing the three-way call in as part of the follow-up from the very beginning, my team, even QSCs, are doing three-way calls with their new team, you know? So it's not like dumping all of this like extra burden on us at the top. It's teaching people from the beginning that, you know, they're easy, they're simple, and we're just getting on there to, you know, really just be that third-party validation, answer any questions. So we're talking about that on the Game Changer call. Then we go through the compensation plan, and the worksheets, you know, make sure that they know what it is, but then also they know now, oh, here's the worksheet. Oh, I can just download this to my computer. Oh, I can fill in my stuff on there. And so they don't need to memorize it because it's right there. Now they know where that tool is and how to get it. And that's it. And it's a 30-minute call, and then they just kind of run. And when they have a new team member, they just follow that same system, and it's super simple, super easy, and it's really, really been working for us. So that's all I got for you. What questions do you have?
So much for sharing that. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. This is really what I'm missing. And I have a question. Hold on. I was going to go pee. You got me. Oh, this is recorded. I need to go to the bathroom, and now you're ready for questions. Okay. Okay. When you said you don't share the marketing plan, like personally, I think it's so exciting to learn about the $100 bonus in your first 10 days. So I'm like, how do you wait for a game changer call, or does that happen a lot faster than I realized?
So a lot of times the sponsor is sharing that with them as they're inviting to the team, and really kind of going through like, so, you'd have your own order, and then, your husband is going to order, and that's going to be, so a lot of times it's just, but it's not like they have to see the worksheet. They have to, watch the video. Like, they don't have to actually have all of the details, but they know that there's a $50 or $100 title reward. They know about, that this is the time frame to do it in, but they just don't need all the details.
That makes total sense.
And if you have a knowledge person, somebody who is one of those people that just wants to have all the details, they're going to go find that information. It's easy to find, or they'll ask you like, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about the compensation plan? And at that point, you just lead them to the tools and let the tools speak for themselves.
Thank you.
This probably seems super basic, but what about your teammates who aren't on Facebook?
They don't have to be on Facebook. They minimum need to be on Voxer, because obviously we're sending that information through. But I tell people, you don't have to be on Facebook. Like, you can put a fake name, you can, do your middle name or whatever, your dog's name, I don't care. But, part of how we do our business is we use these groups, and it's going to serve your customers to be able to, be part of these groups. So, you certainly can be as active or inactive on Facebook as you want, but at least to just be able to have access to the information that's available, you might want to consider it. So, but they don't need to be on Facebook, because everything that we're really sharing for the most part is on Voxer. We're sharing it through Voxer. I was just so clear.
Yes.
Well, you were clear, but it was fast, so I'm glad it's recorded.
I'm a fast talker, sorry.